Hello guys, it's Marek here, and this is PhotoshopLightroomTV, your video podcast about anything Lightroom, Photoshop, photography, and Adobe around it as well. Now, I'm sure you've enjoyed the news last week, 2 weeks ago, about, well, no Creative Suite, but CC, Photoshop CC. But today I'm going to talk a bit about Lightroom 5. Lightroom 5 has been around for a couple of weeks now as a beta, as a public beta, so it's available for a free download. And I'm going to show you a video tutorial on Lightroom 5 beta. Remember, you can download Lightroom 5 for free from Adobe Labs, labs.adobe.com. You should see the address somewhere here on the screen. And what I want to show you is one of the most amazing new features in Lightroom 5 beta, the new adjustment brush. The new spot removal tool that's been greatly improved. We've been waiting for it for years, since the beginning of Lightroom, and now it's finally arrived. So let me show you the new spot removal tool in Lightroom 5 beta. I'm going to minimize this panel at the bottom. I'll minimize these guys here as well, just so you can see the image bigger. And here's our spot removal tool. Okay, one of the, well, let's say annoying features in spot removal tool excuse me, up till now, was that the way it used to work is, if I just zoom in a bit, you would just click and you get this circle which you can reposition, but then if you want to remove this cable, for example, it would probably take you ages. I'm going to click here again, oops, just undo, so I'll click, I'll move it here, and this will just take for ages. Okay, so I'm going to reset it, and so as usual I'm just going to make this size a bit smaller. Should be about right. Okay, opacity is fine, 100%. Now in Lightroom 5 beta, for the first time, spot removal tool works almost like hidden brush tool in Photoshop. So what we can do now, I'm just going to make my brush a bit smaller. I'll just use the bracket keys on the keyboard, like in Photoshop, which means now we can paint. Now this is really good. Let's say one stroke, and release the mouse button, and now Lightroom creates an overlap. I'm just going to move it up a bit, release the mouse button. I'm going to press H on the keyboard to hide the overlay for a second, and this looks really good. So I'll press H again and I'll click done. So now for the first time we can actually paint with spot removal tool, which is really good. It's going to do another one. Maybe, let's say, if I just move the image down here, let's say this thing here on the wall, I can just paint over it. H on the keyboard. It's really, well, I'm also using the clone, so if I just get rid of that, I'm going to set to heal, which will look much better. I should have used it to start with. And now, if I just press H, it looks really good. It's really gone. Also, one other thing I like in here is the way these points disappear. They just fade out. Again, they just fade out. They're really nice. I just love that. And same here. I'll just paint. And it's doing an amazing job sampling from all different areas within the image. Like in here, it didn't sample next to it, it's sampled from the bottom of the one here. Hello, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial in Lightroom 5 beta. You will see more tutorials in Lightroom 5 beta from me in the coming weeks. But now it's time for Photoshop. I'm going to show you a tutorial in Photoshop with a less known feature, something that you probably haven't used before. I'm actually going to show you how to, well, I'm going to show you another way of converting images to black and white by using yet another method. I've learned this from Brian and Hughes from Adobe. This is a really great tip. It's using one of the lesser known adjustments in Photoshop CS6 because it's now in Photoshop CS6. Let me show you that. Then I'm going to convert to black and white using an adjustment layer, but something you probably haven't used before, something most people have never used. It's in here, the gradient map adjustment here in Photoshop CS6. So I'm going to click on that. Oh, this doesn't look right. I know. So click on this drop down menu here. Now, because we're using an adjustments panel, we get an adjustment layer, so you can always edit it, and it's non-destructive, and it doesn't increase the file size. Okay. There's only a couple of gradients in here, and there's some. Well, this actually looks very interesting. That's a bit flat. So here's the kicker that I've learned from Bran. You click on this gear icon to load some additional gradients, and you load the photographic toning. So I'm going to load that. Do you want to replace them? And no, I'm going to append them. So click append. Now we've got loads of these photographic ones. So if I click here, we start getting some really interesting black and white effects, or even sepia effects in here. And there's loads of them. This one I like this one here, for example, in this here, because it all depends on the image, and there's loads of them. I'll just click away, and I'll close the panel, and this is the gradient map adjustment layer. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial in Photoshop. I hope you enjoyed using the new gradient map adjustment in Photoshop CS6. And you know what? That's it. That's it for this week. This was Photoshop Lightroom TV with me, Marek Mularczyk. Have a look on my website, marekmularczyk.com, for all the details about my Adobe Certified courses, as well as books, and you find some free downloads, some free PDF downloads on the products page. Otherwise, have a look on my blog, PhotoshopLightroomBridge.co.uk, with all the latest information. And I'm going to leave you with one bit of news, this time at the end. Adobe guys are coming to London again. Well, not just London, they're doing a tour all over the world with a new event. So have a look on my blog on PhotoshopLightroomBridge.co.uk, where you can find out more. Yeah, I'm just going to leave you with this link, so have a look on my website to find out more about that. They come into London in 2 weeks' time, so if you have time, come over, especially because it's free, so you can't miss it. Unless you can't leave work, you can't miss it. And we're going to see Paul Trani and Rufus Deichler and Jason Levine and some guys from Adobe UK as well. So make sure you come around. Thank you for watching. I'm Marek Mularczyk, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.